Welcome back, my friend. My name is Lance, and I help people to level up and live their best life. In this video, 5 steps to manifesting weight loss with the law of attraction and the law of assumption. Now let's dive into it. I have been using the law of assumption and the law of attraction with the techniques I'm going to share with you in this video in order to lose weight in my own body. And I've already lost 10 pounds. I don't know if you guys can see this or not from the camera, but I'll include a shot. But I got a little bit of weight to lose here. I'm about 248 pounds right now, 5'11", and I started at 258 pounds at the beginning of April. And I've been following the steps I'm about to share with you in order to start this weight loss journey. And I'm going to continue to post update videos just documenting the progress so you can see that this actually works, that what I'm going to tell you in this video will help you to lose weight if you follow the steps. Now let's dive into it. Step number 1, what are your beliefs about losing weight, getting in shape, what the ideal version of your body looks like? Now, society, our collective kind of conscious and unconscious mind, has these ideas about what the ideal female or male or otherwise body looks like. It's got to be skinny, it's got to be muscular. Fat is certainly not part of the common accepted, perfect body type. And there's also another belief in society that says losing weight and getting in shape is hard. If anyone that's overweight, ask them, is losing weight easy? And they say, oh, if it was easy, I would have done it by now, myself included, years ago. When the reality is it's actually very simple, not necessarily easy, but it is simple to transform into the version of yourself that you want to be, the healthy, happy, fit version of yourself. And I've discovered this years ago, but as like any good human, I'm often on the wagon of this, but this year in particular, I really dove deep to find the real steps that are going to make this work for you and for myself. And I'm the proof of it. Keep following this channel to watch as the progress, as we continue to lose weight. So we have to first examine what our current beliefs are and where we got them from, and look at them with the logical mind and the emotional mind together to say, is this logical? Is it logical that losing weight is hard? Do I know that for a fact, or is that something I just believe because that's what society tells me to believe? And then what we believe becomes our outer reality, because the inner becomes the outer, the mirror principle. If you believe losing weight is hard, you're right. If you believe losing weight is easy, you're right. So with that knowledge, we're going to move into step 2. Step number 2, we want to examine our current personal identity. So we looked a little bit at our beliefs about weight loss. We looked a little bit about what society's beliefs about weight loss are and where that all kind of comes together. Now, the next step is to look at our identity. And specifically, we want to look at our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, and our beliefs about ourselves. Do we believe that we are lazy when it comes to working out? Why don't you work out? Oh, I'm lazy. That's that kind of negative self-talk becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. We say we're lazy, we think we are, and so we become that way. And this is in regards to, working out or even just going for walks every day. That's something we need to examine. We need to examine our identity to get an idea of what are the aspects of our identity that led us to this place where we are overweight, where we're not treating our body like a temple and not embodying the healthiest version of ourselves. What kind of stories do you have? A story is nothing more than a bunch of beliefs that are chained together. And the stories we repeat to ourselves oftentimes create that identity. Do you have a story that maybe you're an emotional eater? And I was firmly in this camp, where when I was a kid, lots of trauma and stuff going on, food and video games were the only 2 outlets I had for really fun and for pleasure. So eating for pleasure became something I did. I ate my emotions, but eventually I had to shed that identity. I had to change that story because it doesn't serve me anymore. And that's something for you to look at too. Look at the stories you tell yourself. Is there a story that you hate working out? And in this step 2, we merely want to look into ourselves, do that self-discovery to find out what stories and beliefs we're telling ourselves, where our identity lies relative to our healthy body. Now, before we get into step number 3, if you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get my weight loss updates and watch in real time as I lose weight employing the steps in this video, and be sure to leave a comment down below. Are you someone who's cracked the code for losing weight and getting in shape? Share your wisdom with the rest of us. Comment down below what you do, what your process is. But now let's move into the next step. Step number 3. Here's where we're going to get into actually making some changes. I want you to imagine the version of yourself that's lost the weight, the version of yourself that's put on the muscle, The version of yourself that is that healthy, fit person, that makes those smart decisions, that does the hard work, that goes to the gym or that goes walking or that has a healthy diet. And I want you to really kind of get an idea of what that version of yourself would look like. Because the power, the engine behind this video, the engine behind all of these tips is identity shifting. And that's a topic that I'm going to cover in another video that hasn't posted yet. But when it is, it'll be the end card to this video. So in the future, look at the end card. And if it is that one, then go check it out. But identity shifting is one of the most powerful ways to manifest. And I'm not going to go deep into that topic in this video, but we are going to use elements of it to help shift ourselves into a healthier version that has lost the weight and that has gotten to the level of fitness and body shape and composition that we want. So back to your greatest version that is fit and in shape. How would that version of you think, feel, act, and believe? What kind of stories would that version of yourself tell yourself about what's possible for you? That version knows it's easy to lose weight. Or maybe not. Maybe it was challenging at first, but they know that once they got into the hang of it, it was easy. It was just a matter of following the path and doing what was necessary. What does that version of you think about food? Do they emotionally eat, or does that version of you see food as fuel? Does that version of yourself see food as the building blocks of your body? So that version chooses healthy, organic foods. And does that version of yourself eat a healthy diet? That version of yourself probably enjoys working out. Because look at the results they've got. Of course they enjoy it, but by enjoying it more, it makes it more likely that we're going to continue to go down the path of working out and strengthening the temple that is our body. And you can use all these steps for gaining weight, by the way, if that's your goal too. Just flip everything around. Really start to visualize and play with what that version of yourself would look like and ask your subconscious mind to show you what that version of you would look like. And in your mind's eye, begin to get a picture of what that identity looks like. Because that's going to lead us directly into step number 4, which is visualize being that person. Law of assumption. We are going to quite literally step into that new version of ourselves by visualizing that version and feeling our way into the version of ourselves that we want to become. And naturally, we can only start from where we are. And there is a kind of a small period of bridging the gap where you're going to start slowly oscillating between old version, new version, old version, new version. And that's okay and that's normal. And sometimes you might backslide and sometimes you might get lucky. And for this particular thing, you do it once and you permanently shift into that greater version. I've been doing the oscillating. I've been trying to manifest, or I should rephrase that from my beliefs. I've been manifesting a healthier version of my body, stepping into that healthier, fitter version of myself since January 1st, very unironically, very much expectedly, like everybody else, New Year's and all that. And I was doing things, I felt called to go walking every day. So that version of myself would walk every day, and that's what I do. But I really wasn't getting much where. I did lose about 5 pounds from January to the beginning of April. But then I really, I knuckled down and I thought about it. And I also got, some bad blood work from my doctor. My triglycerides were very high and my cholesterol was very high. And that was kind of the warning. And for anyone that's medically minded, that's a deadly combination because the triglycerides are going to kind of inflammation around the arteries, and then the cholesterol has a harder time getting through, and that's how you have a heart attack and heart complications. So that was the wake-up call that told me I really need to get my shit together. I have to get this in gear. So come April 1st, and it wasn't April Fool's, it was real blood results. I made the decision that I'm going to permanently shift. I have to for my health. I don't want to have a heart attack. I don't want to have heart issues. I've got to shift. I have to make the change. So I began to visualize myself as that person. I really stepped into that identity of myself and said, okay, what does that person think, feel, act, and believe? And throughout the day, I would visualize what that version of me would do in certain scenarios. Would that version of me go to McDonald's for lunch? Probably not. That version of me would either just do intermittent fasting and wait till I got home to eat, which is part of my plan. I'm not a doctor. Don't do what I'm telling you about the diet end of things. It's just an example. That version of me would just not eat until they got home because intermittent fasting is actually healthy, and waiting till I got home from work to eat would restrict the window that I can eat my calories and would also have so many wonderful benefits for my body. That version of me would eat a completely different diet. I have success with the ketogenic diet. And again, not medical advice, not a doctor. Don't do what I'm suggesting here. This has just worked for me. I love the ketogenic diet. When I cut carbs out of my diet, I feel a million times better. And the last time I did keto, I lost a ton of weight. I had a lot of energy and I felt amazing. And if you are going to do keto, quick pro tip, watch your salt and your electrolytes. You need to really ramp up your salt intake when you're on keto, because your kidneys are constantly flushing out water. And anyway, research it yourself, but just that was the one pivot for me. I had to quit last time. My salt got way too low. But anyway, I'm completely off track. Visualize that you're that version of yourself that loves eating healthy. That version of yourself loves going to the gym and working out. That version of yourself just loves being healthy and fit and active. And it's kind of, you're brainwashing yourself in a way, but it's good because we've been allowing ourselves to be brainwashed by everybody else. We may as well be the ones doing the brainwashing and doing it for a positive effect. So we really want to shift our identity into that of a healthy, fit person. And when I use the word diet, I don't mean like a temporary diet. Diet is something we permanently change, because anything we do temporary, a temporary diet will get you temporary results. Because when you go back to eating what you were eating before, you're just going to go back to the way you were before. You have to make the permanent shift in what you're eating. And the key there is enjoying the foods that you eat. And you don't have to do keto. You could do carnivore, you could go low carb in general. You could even go vegetarian or vegan, pescatarian. There's all kinds of different things. Find what resonates for your body and what your body responds to. Our genetics really dictate what exactly a diet is going to work best for us. But then also don't forget epigenetics, that we can influence our genes with our own mind and our own beliefs. So step 5, and this is really the conclusion of step 4, is to take action from the new identity. Anytime we're going to take action in our lives, say we're going to go out to a restaurant, or we need to eat lunch, or we're going to eat dinner, or we're going grocery shopping, we need to enter the mindset of that healthy version. What would they be grocery shopping for? That version of you goes to the gym once a week, 3 times a week, That version of yourself goes walking. And another tip for you on losing weight, walking is actually one of the best exercises you can do to lose weight. Why? Because A, you can do it every day. If you go running, you cannot run hardcore every single day. Your body, your joints, your muscles need to rest. You can walk every single day. And walking actually, and Google this, walking will burn more fat as a percentage of calories expended. But in any case, take action from that new identity. When you really truly shift into the new version, that healthy, fit version, and you take action from that healthy new version, it opens up a whole new world for what's possible for your body. And stay tuned to this channel. I'm going to be making updates as the weight continues to come off. Well, I hope you guys choose to make it a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Much peace to you, my friend.